Hello, my name is John Ratino, and today I'll be talking about Volkswagen and Ford and how it relates to our entire class of ethics and business. So, as for the history of Volkswagen, the company was founded in 1937 and is headquartered in Wolfsburg, Germany. The company is one of the largest automakers in the world, doing business in 150 countries. The company also has 120 production plants worldwide and employs over 670,000 people. Volkswagen provides a wide range of vehicles, including passenger cars, commercial vehicles, and motorcycles, under various brands such as Volkswagen, Audi, Porsche, Lamborghini, and more. The main stakeholders of Volkswagen are customers, employees, suppliers, communities and society, and regulatory authorities and governments, as I will touch on later in the presentation. From Volkswagen's website, it looks like Volkswagen has a good relationship with their stakeholders due to their focus on stakeholder engagement, which is listed many times on their website. As for the history of Ford, Ford is one of the leading multinational manufacturers that extend business practices into many countries. A major advancement that Ford has made in history is the creation of the assembly line, which is now seen in almost every manufacturing industry today worldwide. Ford offers many ranges of products which include sedans, SUVs, trucks, and more recently, electric vehicles. A highlight of their lines of different cars are the Ford F-150 trucks, which have been a bestseller for many years. Everyone knows the commercials. The efficiency in their operations have also increased immensely over the last years by focusing on making a more streamlined process, for example, using automation. A major factor that has shaped the culture is innovation from the creation of the assembly line, which has rooted itself as a staple of the company's culture. Ford has many of the same stakeholders as Volkswagen does, and they also have similar policies in place for retaining a strong relationship with their stakeholders. Ford prioritizes its stakeholders as so: customers, employees, investors, communities, from most prioritized to least prioritized, respectively. Volkswagen has a long history of culture within the company that stems from German engineering, innovation, and a strong focus on quality and more. Volkswagen built a strong culture for a long time until their culture was challenged during the scandal in 2015 called Dieselgate, which again I will touch on more in depth later in the presentation. The scandal provided a major challenge in Volkswagen's culture that showed that there were some major problems of fear and hierarchy within the company. Like Volkswagen, Ford also has a culture that has a major focus on engineering and innovation, as well as being committed to making high-quality vehicles. A major factor that has shaped the culture is innovation from the creation of the assembly line, as I mentioned earlier. This innovation from the assembly line has managed to root itself as a staple of the company's culture that can still be seen today. Another major factor that has shaped the culture is the way Henry Ford treated employees early on in the company's lifetime. Early in the company's history, not only did Henry Ford increase the wages of his employees, but he also decreased the number of hours they were responsible for working. He managed to decrease the shifts by 1 hour and gave employees higher wages, which provided a great base for company culture early on to carry on into the future. As far as Volkswagen ethics, it's hard to talk about their ethics without talking about Dieselgate. Volkswagen was in a major scandal around 2013-2014 that dealt with putting a defeat device in diesel cars that incorrectly tracked the emissions of the cars. This allowed Volkswagen to produce at a cheaper cost and overall make more money. The car, like I said earlier, had a defeat device that were activated during emissions tests to output incorrect results that would effectively pass the cars. These devices were said to be in 11 million cars worldwide. The device allowed the cars to pass the test, when in reality, the cars would not have passed without the device. Since then, Volkswagen has admitted completely and worked hard to gain back the trust of customers and shareholders by pledging to lower emissions in the fleet of cars that they produce. Since then, the company has made many strides to better their ethics through their extensive code of conduct and ethics. Similarly to Volkswagen, the employee and employer relationship is seen to be very good overall, which is a major contributor to their ethics. One major aspect that has held true to Ford across all the years is that Ford has a great employee representation, which has allowed their ethics to strive. Many employees of Ford are represented by the Auto Workers Union, which allows employees to have set wages, benefits, working hours, and more, backed by a union that will help represent the employees well. Ford also offers many benefits such as health insurance, retirement plans, system programs, and more to give back to the company's employees and keep them happy. One interesting aspect of the relationship with employees of Ford is Ford's major focus on diversity and inclusion within the workplace, which allows Ford to continue to keep a high balance of ethics that relate to all stakeholders of the company. After researching, some of the main points that Volkswagen makes to their strategy of marketing are brand identity and values, emotional appeals, sustainability, as mentioned before, and I will touch on again later in the presentation, event sponsorship, innovative technologies such as their new EVs, as again I will touch on later during the sustainability section of the presentation. Slightly touched on as before, collaborations and partnerships, and their high quality customer reviews from trusting customers who have used Volkswagen for many years. One of the biggest marketing strategies that Ford has kept true to the company for many, many years is the slogan, "Built Ford Tough." One of Ford's long-standing marketing campaigns is "Built Ford Tough," which emphasizes the durability and ruggedness of their trucks and SUVs. The campaign obviously targets individuals looking for vehicles that are often reliable and can be used for many years, no matter what the environment is. Ford also has a major emphasis on innovation and technology in their marketing campaigns, as it often highlights the commitment to innovation and cutting-edge technology. Some of the features that they often highlight are advanced driver assistance systems, connectivity options, and their newer electric vehicle technology. For sustainability of Volkswagen and Ford and all automotive companies in the industry, the biggest environmental sustainability issue is carbon dioxide emissions that are released into the atmosphere from vehicles that are produced by the automotive manufacturers. The issue of CO2 emissions has been around ever since vehicles began being manufactured. It was not until 1970 that the government passed the Clear Air Act, which allowed the government to regulate emissions from cars. Now the goal is to reduce greenhouse gas emissions by around 50% below 2005 levels by 2030. As for Volkswagen, obviously they are known for their Dieselgate scandal when it comes to talking about sustainability in the company. However, since then they have made many strides towards reducing emissions for their fleets of cars. In response to the ethical issue of the scandal, Volkswagen has paid out over $9.5 billion in settlement funds, along with fully recalling the vehicles in some areas of the world. Volkswagen has since created a goal of reducing emissions called Way to Zero, which is a goal for the company to be net carbon neutral by 2050 at the latest. Similar to Volkswagen, back in 1997, Ford actually also installed a defeat device that would misread emissions to pass vehicles that would not normally pass the emissions test. without the device. Since then, they have been major advocates for sustainability with no emissions issues since then and many goals to reduce emissions for the future. Ford has taken the approach of increasing their investment in the electric vehicle industry in order to reduce emissions. Something I found in research that is related to this goal is a $50 billion planned global investment in EVs, including battery production from 2022 through 2026. This will double the company's electric vehicle capacity to 600,000 units by 2023, which will allow the company to significantly reduce emissions by producing that many more EVs.